in a way, and somebody has to be doing something radical, and unfortunately there's some really nut jobs doing things that are radical, and then we get caught in the middle, the ones who are trying to think and be thoughtful and civic minded and open and, you know, tolerant and everything else, and then you can, it sucks.
Right, and you know, you actually may be surprised or not to learn, last time I was here at the Fillmore, I met a guy who had just come back from Iraq. I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was like, hey, you know, what's your excuse being out here, because the show is still going on? And he said, I can't stand the pyrotechnics, like the explosions, because it brings them right back there. And I was like,
the PTSD
oh
must be insane for these guys, these kids. And
they are. Like, I graduated in 2001, you know, right before 9/11, and I come from a pretty poor town, and it was like all the guys and a lot of the girls in my class, graduating class at 25, you know, they all went in the Army so they could pay for college, and now they're screwed. So, yeah, not to be a downer or anything, but I just like to get, you know, people's opinion on that, and I think it's good to talk about, and it is, you know, kind of relevant when you think about it like that.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, kind of along those same lines, do you happen to have a candidate you're supporting in 08?
Not outwardly, but I voted for Obama in
cool.
primaries. But,
yeah, I hear he's whooping Hillary's butt right now.
Yeah, I have not been following in the past few weeks. I've not even been following this at all.
Yeah, today's the last day.
Yeah.
Last primary day.
Yeah. So, but
I'm pretty sure
know,
he's got it.
Yeah.
Let's hope anyway. God, not McCain. Anyone but McCain. But, so, did you always want to make music, or was there anything else you were ever aspiring to do?
I mean, when I was really young, I wanted to be an architect, or, you know, I was into mechanical drawing and stuff like that.
That's cool.
By the time I was, you know, it was late into high school by the time I figured out what I wanted to do, really. You know, I did so many jobs as a kid, and none of them pointed towards music. I was like a mason for many years in the summer, and I did shipping and receiving. I framed houses, did garbage removal, baled hay, shoveled driveways, you know, had a paper route as a little kid, worked in a machine shop deburring metal. Like, I mean, there's so many more too. Like, I've done so many jobs, like physical labor jobs in my life, that I think I just was so distracted I couldn't even focus on what I wanted to do. And then once I started playing music, started playing guitar, it seemed unrealistic because I came from a small town that there was no musicians and there's no infrastructure for that, you know, for you to go out and do that. I mean, I was close to New York City, but that was like another world away. It's a 45-minute drive, and, you know, that's the big city, and I'm, you know, a lot of times you, as a kid, I mean, you get just complacent and like, oh, well, this is the status quo, and I don't dare break the mold. And then a lot of people, you know, maybe go too far, and like, I'll do it, you know, get rich or die trying. But, and then, you know, that can have its consequences too. So somewhere in the middle, you know, it's nice to, I wanted to go back for career day actually in my school and go, look, I'm not trying to push you into not going into being a doctor or not being a fireman, but, you know, if something's burning inside you, so, you know, we don't have to deal with you at the DMV counter when you're miserable at your job and make, you know, you can do a lot of things in life. You know, a lot of people are cut out for different things. I mean, and it's not like being in the entertainment business is the be-all, end-all job. It's not. It's like a lot of people I know come out on the road with us and like, how do you do this staying in crappy hotels every day? And, you know, it's an acquired taste, and, and you know, to each his own. So, but it really is, when you're in a small town, you're a kid and you don't have guidance. Guidance counselors, you know, you can get a good one, it can change your life. You can just have one mentor or one peer that, you know, points you in the right direction. It can mean a lot. So for me, I just kind of stumbled upon it. I did lighting for school assemblies as probably more of an excuse to get out of class, and then found some kind of interest in it, and then that led me one thing led to another, and then I wound up here.
That's really cool. So speaking of mentors, who would you say would be your mentor?
Growing up, this guy Tommy Rogers was one of my biggest mentors. He was my best friend's older brother, and, you know, for all intents and purposes, like my second dad, or, you know, like older brother figure, you know, kind of thing. And got me into like a lot of cool music too, as like a music fan early on. Like he was the one that would. He was like a pretty tough guy, not tough guy, but just could play by his own rules, which we usually use as a diss, but in his case it was true, and would be into Elvis Costello when it wasn't cool to be, or into, got me into other stuff like Dead Kennedys and whatever, a lot of things in between, and so that was big for me, having someone there to look out for you, whether it was in a bit of a twisted way, but it was it was still good to have some kind of mentor growing up.
Well, that's cool. And do you happen to have any advice for bands that are just starting out?
Side note: I wrote Judith about him from the original, but some of the lyrics got kept, but Maynard kind of put his own twist on it with ABC.
Oh, that's really cool.
Basically, who it was about. Do I what?
Do you have any advice for any up and coming bands?
I mean, we're an up-and-coming band, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out right now.
I consider you very established.
We're just starting. We're just starting. It literally is just starting again. I mean, like, I am excited. I'm also really frustrated because it's like, you're trying to promote the band and get the word out there, and it's hard. It's not. Coming from Perfect Circle, which was, very, hugely successful as far as I was concerned, and then going to this, it doesn't, I guess, matter really. It's like, I guess I never knew much about Mick Jagger's solo albums either. He was in the Rolling Stones, which you've heard of, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, I'm certainly not comparing myself to Mick Jagger. I'm just saying, like, it's hard enough coming from a huge band, let alone like Perfect Circle, and then starting all over again. But we're just starting. It's the first month. Luckily, we're on the Project Revolution tour this summer, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I saw that main stage too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was pretty gracious of the Linkin Park guys to put us on there, and and I'm really proud of what we're doing. And the band, like, we've got a great chemistry, and I just want to get in front of as many people as we can to say we're here.
The show is sold out tonight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good one. So what were some highlights that you've had from the tour? I know you're just starting out, but any favorite venue yet, or crowd or anything?
God, the best crowd. It's funny. I don't know why it would be funny or not. But Herkimer, New York, it was outside of Syracuse. We played some festival there. The crowd was just great. It almost felt like our show. And it's the music that we're doing. Like dIVIDE is a little bit more. We play on a lot of these festivals, and a lot of these bands have a very sharpened act of a lot of energy and a lot of like momentum that keeps flowing. And there's like, there's something to be said about going to a show and having a really good time and feeding off of that. And there's another part of like going to an introspective kind of like dark and moody kind of thing, and where we come from, at least I come from, I think the whole band does, and like where we want to go to. It's sometimes difficult to get those subtleties and nuances and vulnerability across in a live, blazing daylight festival show.
Right.
So there was a show, and like I said, outside of Syracuse that we went to, and God, it was like the crowd was really receptive, and the more the crowd's into it, the more you get into it, and it's just this ongoing,
kind of like feed off each other.
So it's nice when that chemistry works, and that was a standout show. And also Quebec City in Canada, we played a little concert, and it was mostly contest winners. It was a lot of people that didn't even probably know who we were, and it was kind of like a lot of head scratching first couple songs, and halfway through we started to build, and then by the end it was like we won them over, and it feels really nice when that happens.
Yeah.